Hey, what's up, everyone? You're here with the Pick Dawgz soccer crew, Goran, Kirk, and Jack. It is December 26th, and first things first, guys. Merry Christmas to all of you who are celebrating, of course. For those of you who are not, I guess happy holidays. And we are almost into the new year, and we keep saying, guys, that most of the leagues are taking a break over Christmas, at least over Christmas for those 3 or 4 days, except for the EPL. We have 8 games on the schedule for you on the December 26th, and you are getting free picks for every single one of those games. But we discussed it before with the video, and we decided to do a quick recap of all the other leagues and see how the standings looks like, see who might win it, and stuff like that. But before we get into that, I just want to talk to Kirk and Jack real quick here. Guys, what are your holiday plans? Are you working? Are you off? Or what's happening, Jack?
Off, but working hard. So yeah, going to be premiums from me, obviously, across this whole Christmas holiday break. Obviously, we got NBA Christmas games, NFL Christmas games, Boxing Day soccer games, and all of the above. So yeah, going to be a busy period. Still money to be made, even though it's Christmas Day and stuff. So yeah, just gonna enjoy the period with family and friends, and it's very rare I get to come back to the UK. So here back home on home soil, and yeah, just gonna enjoy it with family and friends.
Yeah, not many things are better than winning money on Christmas and Boxing Day and stuff like that. So, guys, there's gonna be a lot of free picks, a lot of premium picks as well. Like Jack said, NBA, NFL. There are, of course, hockey games as well. I'm not sure if either of us will do any hockey. I for sure won't, but college basketball, college football. Kirk, what's the weather like in Boston area right now? You got a lot of snow?
It's snowy. It's snowy. Yeah, I mean, global warming, this is probably the only time we'll get snow all year. So might as well enjoy it. It was a Christmas miracle. But what's not a miracle is that I'll be 5-0 in the NBA on Christmas Day. And I told you here first. I told you here first. I can even give you one of the plays right now if you want, on a soccer video. Then someone will be like, why is he talking about the Knicks on in a soccer video? Well, to give you free
Go
winners.
for it.
To
Go
give
for
you a
it.
free winner. Spurs +9. There you go. Second, Jack. I'm going to the Villa Arsenal game in January in London. So any of our supporters are there and want to see me in a Bayern jersey, you know where to find me. I'll be standing out. So hope to see one of you diehard fans there. It's a bum team versus a team that's not going to win. So pretty good matchup between two Farmers League sides. I'm excited to pay money to see that. So saving money this Christmas to go see two bad teams. What else is going on?
Are you still
Yeah, I'll
gonna
be
be
with
there in January, Jack, though?
No, I fly back on the 30th, I think. So yeah, won't be able to bump into Kirk, unfortunately. But you won't find me anywhere near the Emirates. I'm telling you that now. Nowhere near that place.
and then I'm making a trip to Split, Croatia. Go on right after.
Are you really?
No, don't.
Well,
I've already been there. I've already done my time there. I got kicked out, so I can't make it back there.
I would have actually
Anyway,
made the drive. It's like 4 hour away from me. So if you
well,
would come, I would
maybe
meet
I'll
you.
impromptu. Maybe I'll impromptu.
Well, we'll see. I know the weather is quite good over there. I mean, the weather is good here where I am as well. I honestly don't miss the Canadian snow. I know there's a lot of it right now where I used to live in Canada, but right here, I think it should be like 7 or 8 degrees on Christmas. They were
Not
saying
bad.
there might be some snow overnight, but honestly, all of that is gonna melt probably by noon on Christmas Day. So, and like I said, I don't really miss the Canadian weather right now. It's crazy up there. There's a lot of snow, and yeah, I'm quite happy to be back in
I
Croatia
mean,
with my
Kirk,
family as well.
if you want to take a trip, cancel that Croatia impromptu trip and come to Malta, I'll happily house you, mate. You got a free bed at mine if you want to make the trip. It's probably quite cheap as well, to be fair, at this time of the year.
I got
Just
a
an
free
option
bed.
for
I
you.
got a free bed in London too. I got free beds everywhere.
Oh, you're living it up then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Those beds aren't cheap in London anymore.
Nah, they aren't. My friend lives somewhere like Notting Hill or something. I don't know where she lives. Who knows? Who knows, man?
You are going
But
to Notting Hill over Christmas holidays? That's so romantic, Kirk.
Villa doesn't play Arsenal till the 16th of January, so unless you consider Christmas a whole month,
Some
no.
people do. I mean, some people
Well,
have Christmas lights up until July.
yeah, that's true. And Jack's one of them because of the way he laughed.
No, it's funny you say that. Where the place where I grew up, there was a house in my street that literally just never took their lights down. They were so lazy, like they just left them up. He had a reindeer in the front garden the whole year long without fail.
That's dope.
Now, guys, that we are done with this part of our video, I would say let's go on and talk about some soccer. Let's do a quick recap of the leagues. Um, I would say let's go with the League One first because of the top 5 European football leagues. It's the league that I like the least, and I don't know, it just doesn't attract me that much. But right now, the standings, let me just pull up the standings here. If I may, oh, there you go.
PSG, Marseille, Monaco, Lille, Lyon, Nice, Lens, Auxerre, Toulouse, Glen, Brest, Rennes, Strasbourg, Nantes, Angers, Saint-Etienne, Le Havre, Montpellier. There you go.
That's fine.
That's all we need to talk about it.
Yeah, it's opened up for me as well. Marseille was keeping up the pace with PSG early in the season, but now that we are basically halfway through the season, PSG already has 10-point advantage over everybody else.
They still haven't lost a game, which is crazy, actually.
Yeah, considering how bad they have been playing in the Champions League, for them not to lose a game in the French League One, and they also have plus 30 goal difference as well. So I don't think that anybody can challenge them, at least not this season. Jack, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think a key thing here, us betting on especially PSG games right after Christmas is, they've got this 10-point lead now, and now they can actually look to rest players in the league if they've got a big Champions League game coming up, because they're struggling right now in the Champions League. They need some wins in their next few games in the Champions League to really push on and give themselves a good seed. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to be a factor to look out for when we're talking about these Liga and PSG games going forward in the next month or so.
Yeah, the Champions League battle is going to be much more entertaining in the French League One, as we have Marseille, Monaco, and Lille all within 3 points. Lyon is fifth with 25 points, and Nice and Lens are very close as well. And also the relegation battle could be quite intense. Montpellier, Le Havre, Saint-Etienne, Angers are all within 5 points. And I mean, it's not going to be super fun or anything like that because none of us really enjoy watching French League One that much, except for a few.
Hey, it's two of my 5 teams. 2 of my 5 teams are in that relegation battle right now.
I told you, Saint-Etienne are going down. I told you.
They're not. It's going to be Angers and Le Havre. It's going to be Angers and Le Havre.
And Montpellier, obviously.
What? Yeah. Not, man, if not get relegated, I'm done with Pick Dawgz. If not get relegated, you guys can have your wish then. I'll be gone. You guys can have your wish.
Now, guys, that we said.
I hope Brest get relegated. That would be something. That would be great. They're actually only 6 points away from relegation right now, which is, considering how well they're doing in the Champions League, they are a bomb French 1 team. They stink.
Well, they had to choose a competition, I suppose.
Yeah,
but you think they're going to win the Champions League?
Well,
I'd rather choose.
No, but I think for a team like Brest, like the Champions League is where the money's at for them as a business, right?
Exactly.
Like,
I agree.
If they're picking up points in the Champions League, and they can get away with finishing like 13th or 14th in the league because it's still
but then
really
they won't
good
be back in League One for another 15 years, so it's not worth it.
They won't get relegated. They won't get relegated.
I mean, won't be back in Champions League. Won't be back in Champions League, I mean.
I don't think they will get there regardless for the 2 times in a row, if I'm being honest.
I mean,
Yeah, and that's why that probably puts more emphasis on their Champions League games this season, because they're probably not even going to be getting Europa at this point next year.
Yeah.
So they need to be making up the money here. They should qualify, I think, for the knockouts. I say should, because it's still possible they don't. But yeah, I just think that's crucial games. And, from a fan standpoint as well, if you're a Brest fan, you've
I'm
got to
not.
take advantage of all of these chances that you're going to be able to watch your team in the Champions League. So, yeah, look out for those Brest home games.
Last question of League One. David, Barkla, or Greenwood, who wins the Golden Boot? It's 11, 10, 10. David has 11. Other two have 10.
I refuse to talk about Greenwood.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be David. Barkla is going to be rested. Maybe Greenwood.
I still think it's going to be Barcola because PSG is going to stay more consistent than Marseille for the rest of the season as well. And I think it's easier for Barcola to play for PSG than for Greenwood to play for Marseille.
But there's David, who's leading right now.
And I mean, well, I guess depending how many penalties they got in Lille, that's
Who takes PSG's penalties? Is it Barkla?
I have no idea.
Or is it? It might be João Neves, honestly. Or no, it's Vitinha. It's Vitinha, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Vitinha. Anyway,
I think the thing that's going to hold Barkla back is, is he going to be rested for Champions League in the next?
That's what I said.
Few weeks, right? That's the problem. But I mean, David can definitely do it. There's no reason why he can't. They were going to keep on scoring goals, so I think that's probably the most exciting thing about this league.
Because there were rumors that United wants to sign him in the winter now.
There go his career.
I'd rather stay at Lille than United, to be honest. We all know how many players United have killed in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And now look at Jadon Sancho. He's the best player in the world again once he left. Unbelievable.
Di Maria. I mean,
Sancho.
he never really played, really, did he? But Cavani played barely any minutes. Lukaku went to the Italian league, was top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah, that club is toxic, man, in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Tottenham. All right, next league.
Next league, let's talk about Serie A, guys. We are also pretty much halfway through the season in Serie A. Atalanta at the top. Surprisingly, I would say at least a little bit. They've scored 42 goals, which is the most in Serie A right now. Napoli in second with 38 points, which is 2 points less. They've scored a lot goals less than Atalanta, 26 goals. While Inter, they do have 2 games in hand right now. They are in third place. So once that is complete, they could easily get on even points with Atalanta as well. But overall, I mean, if you have to choose between Inter and Atalanta, do you go with Inter, who are more experienced team and who have a lot of experience winning this competition, or Atalanta, who very much look like they could challenge for the title this season all the way until the end?
Yeah, I'll take it.
I mean,
you can go. I'm just gonna say something quickly.
I don't know if you can look for me, but I'd love to know the odds on Atalanta to win the league right now. Just to ride with that trend on Serie A.
I don't like it.
I mean, no, I don't say I love it, but I'm not going to be taking it because, all season long up to now, it feels like Serie A has been so close. Right?
Plus 240 on FanDuel. Inter's minus
Inter?
120.
Okay.
Napoli's plus 320, and then it's just.
I don't think Napoli do it for me. I don't. The problem is for Napoli, they're not scoring enough. They're not conceding. You give them that 12 goals conceded in 17 games is phenomenal, but they've only scored 26. Yeah. They're not even averaging 2 goals a game, and that's going to cost them down the line, down the stretch when you're on the road to, I don't know, Roma or Udinese is probably a better example. there can be times where you can only manage to score one goal, and is one goal really enough against a team at home like Udinese who can score, or Milan, for example? Well, Atalanta are going to score. Inter are going to go and score against them. Yeah, big one. I just think, to be honest, that the most exciting thing for me in the Serie A, I think, when it comes to like April, it's going to be who's going to be fighting for Champions League spots, because that league is so competitive this year. Fiorentina may sneak in a top four. You never know. But it is hard to see Lazio, Inter, Napoli, and Atalanta not being Champions League football next year. But then, you got Juve. Like, where the hell are Juve going to finish this year?
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're Napoli, sorry,
Fiorentina have 2 games in hand.
if you're
Now go for
Napoli
it.
and you don't score more than Juventus, I think you should really change something because Napoli scored less goals than Juventus, and we know Juventus had like what 4-0 games already or 5 even, and yeah, I don't think Napoli can do it this season.
Yeah, I don't think Atalanta finished top 2 personally. I think it's going to be Inter and Napoli fighting for that top spot. I think Atalanta's due for some regression. The thing is, they either win or they lose. They only have 1 draw, so I think that's something you really have to take away here. They're not in a lot of close games. They either win or they lose. So I think.
But I think that's the best way to play. Like, personally, like Tottenham had a season where we finished. I think, yeah, it was the year that we basically lost the league and came third in a 2-horse race when Leicester won, and we drew too many games, and we were playing like too safe. And at the end of the day, a win and a loss is better than two draws. So sometimes you
Yeah.
just got to go, balls to the wall and just play for the win, man.
I don't see them finishing top 2. I really don't. I really don't.
No,
But
I guess we're done talking about.
Hold on. I think the best bet in Serie A right now is for Lecce to get relegated at plus 230. They are in 14th, but they're only 2 points out of relegation. And I think Cagliari, Verona, Parma, and Como are all better than Lecce.
Yeah.
I could see Lecce get relegated plus 230. I think that if you want to bet for Serie A, I think that's where I would put my money.
They're just not scoring. They had not scoring, Lecce. They had not
9
scoring.
goals. I know 11 goals. Yeah, it's insane.
That
Least
might
in
be
the
a
league.
very, very good bet. You know what? I will actually put half a unit on that right now and just let it go because those odds are very, very good. And yeah, Lecce is very, very bad team this season. Now in La Liga, guys, Barcelona is regressing. They went down to third place right now after a couple of losses in a row, including the last minute loss to Atletico Madrid, which actually, to be honest, if I'm being honest, saved my premium pick for that game. But it made Barcelona lose that game. Atletico Madrid took over the top of the table, 41 points, only 1 loss, 33 scored goals, 12 conceded goals, and they are on a huge roll right now. But can we really expect them to keep it going even after Christmas and be as efficient, Jack?
Nah, you start this one, Goran. You start it.
I started.
I gotta hear your thoughts on this Barca team. You start it.
I mean, look, I was not watching that game. I wasn't home at that point. I was looking at the stats and I was following it on my phone a little bit. In first half, Atletico Madrid had 1 shot and it wasn't even on target. Barcelona got ahead. They were dominating. They conceded a goal, which, in all honesty, I was expecting because keeping a clean sheet for Barcelona right now is not an easy task. And then again, once again, I saw Eddie Garcia coming into the lineup in like 85th minute or something like that, and I was like, "Oh, don't do this to me." And
I live bet Atletico right when they put him in.
did you?
No.
I would applaud you right now.
I wish.
If you actually did that, I would give you an applause. But they conceded a goal. Honestly, I did not check how they conceded a goal, the second one, but they do not look that well right now. They might be winning games in the Champions League. They might be dominating teams there. but they're not doing well in La Liga for some reason. And I'm, for one, I'm very happy they're taking this short break right now. It could get some injured players back. They could kind of regroup and go back at it. But luckily for them, they are outscoring everybody right now. They're scoring insane amount of goals. They can outscore everybody, and I think they have the potential to get back to the top of the table. But they will need to stay very, very consistent and to go against once again Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and even Bilbao is there with only 2 points less. I think it's gonna be a very tight La Liga season until the end.
Who wins it? Who wins it? Don't be a homer. Who wins it?
Oh man, I honestly,
Honestly,
As
I
much as I
honestly,
hate to say it, I think Real Madrid wins it. As much as I hate to say it, I think Madrid win it. Real, that is.
I
could
think
see it, to
honestly,
be
it's so
honest.
close. It's so close between the top three. It's close between both Madrids and Barcelona. Roll the dice right now, everyone at home. If it rolls 1 or 2, it's Atletico. If it's 2 or 3, it's Real. And if it's 3 or 4, it's Real. And if it's 5 or 6, it's Barca. It really is that close. And I'm not going to bet it, but if you are trying to like do a futures bet right now on who's to win that league, just take whoever is the better price. Literally.
Plus 280 Madrid, Atletico. Plus 200
take it.
Barca, Real minus 125.
I'll take
I
it.
think Real minus 125 is free. I think
I
that's
don't.
free. I think it's
I
free.
don't.
I would still take Barcelona at plus 200 if I'm being honest.
Or if
Well,
you
we all
want to
know
put
why.
$10 to win 1.2 grand on Bilbao, go for it.
Now that would be something special. They have won only one major trophy so far as a club, I think, and that was Copa del Rey last season. But yeah, I I think it's gonna be one of the top three teams. Obviously, Atletico, Real Madrid, or Barcelona. But now, who of all those three will be? I honestly can't say right now. I'm trying to stay impartial and not pick Barcelona. But hey, if we're getting him as a future bet at plus 200, I might put something on it. As
I
far
mean,
as
the break came at the
yeah,
perfect time for them. They need a reset. All
yeah.
right, one last question. Can Mallorca, who's in sixth, qualify for Europe next season? I think that's the biggest surprise here of La Liga this season. Mallorca in sixth is crazy.
I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
you're going to disagree with me here, Kirk. You're going to really disagree with me here because I know you hate them. But I actually think the biggest shock this season is Girona. Like, they finished third last season. You know, they were, tipped to finish top 4 again. At worst, top 5. And now they're 8th by a pretty decent margin. I mean, Mallorca are doing really well. So,
They're 1 point away from 11th. They're terrible.
yeah.
You think that's a shock in a bad way, you mean?
Yeah, no, it's terrible. It's so bad.
I never thought they were going to be ahead of like Sociedad, Bilbao, Barca,
And Valencia
Madrid.
as well. Let's talk about Valencia. They look
Yeah,
like
that's insane.
Well,
they
Valencia
look like
has
they're
been a
about to go
mess
down.
for 2 or 3 seasons, and there's been a lot of actually protests going on against the owner because he doesn't want to invest any money, he doesn't want to pay any players, he doesn't want to do anything with the club, and the fans are very, very unhappy with him, and they're asking him for him to sell the club and whatnot. But I mean, seeing Valencia in the 19th place, that's just stunning right now. They are actually 4 points away from safety right now, even though they do have a game in hand to all the other bottom teams. But they will really need to regroup and get some points to get out of that relegation zone.
I remember a
Getafe
month
is
ago.
plus
I remember.
240 to get relegated, which is a good bet, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad.
If
I just remember
Valencia
a
get
month
out of there.
ago with the
Yeah.
storm in Valencia, right? And Valencia had like 3 games in hand because they didn't play any games because of the weather. And everyone was like, oh, it's just because you got 3 games in hand. That's why they're so low in the table. But now, like, they're only a game behind everyone else now. And they're still sitting 19th. And even if they win the next game, they're still going to be in relegation. So it's just terrible. And maybe the players can sit there on their copium and say, oh, well, we've had to catch up and play all these games so close together. But it's like, well, every other team's been playing in midweek for Europe across all European tournaments, with the Conference League and so on. it's not an excuse, really. And if I was a fan, I'd be absolutely fuming right now. What I'd love to see is like a Valencia versus Roma fan standoff on who thinks their club is the worst. That is literally the battle.
Yeah. Now let's move on to Bundesliga. Kirk, Bayern at the top, Leverkusen behind them. Who you taking to win?
I mean, Bayern has it wrapped up, in my opinion. Bayern has it wrapped up. I really think what's interesting is what's it called? Can like a team like Mainz stay top six, or is like Werder, or Freiburg, or Stuttgart really gonna make a push in the second half? Mainz, I'm pretty sure like before the last like 5 games were in like 14th, but they've won 4 of their last 5 games and now sit in 5th place, which is nuts. Kiel and Bochum, yeah, they're probably gonna be relegated. I don't know. Heidenheim,
Yeah, I think Bochum
Hoffenheim.
is pretty much done. I don't think that they have, I mean, like 1% chance maybe to get above the relegation zone. But then you look at the teams who are actually very close to the relegation zone, but above Hoffenheim, St. Pauli, Augsburg, and Union Berlin. All much better teams than Bochum and Kiel are. Heidenheim, considering they're playing in Europe, they're playing in that conference league, seeing them this low
Crazy.
in 16th place is also very weird because they're actually doing quite well in the conference league. So they will need to prioritize Bundesliga a little bit more, I would say, if they want to avoid any headaches. But you said, Kirk, that Bayern has it done already. But I think it would be a little bit closer than you might think. But I do agree with you. I think that Bayern is winning the title this season.
Yeah, I mean, props to what's it called? Frankfurt. I mean, they have the best player in the Bundesliga this year, in my opinion. Harry Kane, yes, he leads the league in goals with 14. But second, you have Omar Marmoush, and he leads the league in assists with 7 assists. I mean, this dude is on a different level. And then shout out to my boy from Mainz, Jonathan Burkhardt, with 10 goals. Big reason why this Mainz team is where they are today is because of him. Future striker for Germany. Get Nicholas Füllkrug out of that lineup. Jonathan Burkhardt is the future.
Yeah, you know what? I always say I do enjoy seeing those smaller teams getting closer to the top of the table and qualifying for the Champions League, like Brest did, even like Girona did in La Liga as well, and some other teams. Mainz, they have been struggling. Like they have been this close to relegation for the last 2 or 3 seasons, even went to those additional qualifications at the end of it, were able to stay, and now, like you said, won 4 of their last 5, beat Bayern, beat Eintracht last week. They are defending well. The only question is, Jack, can a team like that stay consistent, at least somewhat consistent, to stay in the top 6, top 7, or something like that? Usually, we see after Christmas, after New Year's, teams like that start dropping points all over the place.
Well, yeah. I mean, this break's probably come at the worst time possible for them, right? Like they're playing their best football by a considerable margin, probably the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, a bit disappointing if you're a Mainz player right now that you have to, take a bit of an extended break off, I guess, go for Christmas. But they're going to be coming back after Christmas with like, look, we've seen how good we can be. Let's just carry it on into 2025. Another team I want to talk about here was Union Berlin, man. They were sitting pretty, like, don't get me wrong, they're a very boring team to watch. They were sitting pretty comfortable in the top half of the table, but they've only got 1 point from their last 5 games, and one of those games, well, that only point was against Bochum when they were at home. Bochum had 10 men from like the 9th minute, and Bochum go 1-0 up after getting the red card, and Union Berlin can only score 1. And they draw that game to a 10-men Bochum who don't even look like anywhere near beating anyone this season.
They just won their last game.
Sorry, again?
They just won their last game.
Yes, but I mean, like, at that time that happened, they hadn't beaten anyone. They didn't even look like they could beat anyone. And now Union Berlin, you can't beat a 10-man Bochum? That's just disgusting.
They almost beat Dortmund early in the year.
but they didn't. You know, we've
I
played
know.
15 games now. You'd like to think they're on a bit more than 6 points.
Let, let, let me say two things. I agree with you. I agree with you. Mine's they're the type of team that shows up when they need to. That's why I think they can stay top six. They were fighting off relegation last 3, 4 seasons. When they needed wins, they got them. And I think they have a lot of confidence this year. This team has been put together for a while. Like, this team has not a lot of big names. Borkhart's probably on the move after this season, but for the rest of the season, this is like the Union of like 3 years ago. They could make that run. And I actually think, if you want to hear my prediction, I think Kiel and Bochum go down. I think they're way too far deep into this. I think Heidenheim get out of that relegation playoff. I think Augsburg actually slide in there.
Yeah.
I think they've been one of the worst teams in the Bundesliga. Yes, they are 6 points ahead of Heidenheim. Hoffenheim, they're not gonna get relegated. That would be the biggest shock to me if Hoffenheim end up in that relegation. Pauli, they win the games they shouldn't, and they lose the games what did I say? They win the games they shouldn't, and they lose the games
They should win.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, I think Pauli stays above. I think Augsburg versus Heidenheim is really the relegation playoff fight. Maybe Kiel. Kiel has showed some pretty good fight. Yes, you're gonna say Kiel. They have 8 points, but they did tie Leverkusen. They've played some good teams pretty well. They're kind of like the Ipswich, I'd like to say. They play good teams well at home. Yes, Ipswich lost 5-1. I know someone in the comments went bananas for choosing Ipswich. And then he also said, "Oh, you took Frankfurt." Guy in the comments, I'm sorry, but me, Goran, and Jack, and 99.99% of the world took Frankfurt that game. So congrats if you took Mainz, but you're him. I'm sorry, you're him. You must be a genius.
Can we talk about Dortmund, by the way? Best home team in the league by a decent margin, but they sit 6th in the league. Absolute horrible away team. And, you know, they're paying the price for it. They're 6th. And even if they were average on the road this season, they'd be probably top 3 right now, you know, or maybe tied with Leipzig or Frankfurt at least. But yeah, that's been a disaster for them.
Yeah, they did
They'll
finally
finish
get a
top
win on the
4. I'm
road.
not worried.
And I think, yeah, like Kirk said, they will finish top 4. I'm pretty sure of that. They will turn the season around, at least on the road, because at home they don't have to do anything. But they're just too good of a team. Now, can I see them anywhere close to the top? Absolutely no. And speaking of Mainz, Kirk, wasn't Mainz the team that actually screwed over Dortmund in that last round a few years ago when they were supposed to win the title and then they lost 2-1 or something like that?
And you know who it was thanks to? Jonathan Borkhardt. I think I'm pretty sure it was Jonathan Borkhardt who's no, they didn't lose. They tied and they needed to win. And then Musiala Magic came alive in the 89th minute and he went to the corner flag and kicked it. And I drank 6 beers in the next minute and we celebrated our 10th straight title. And then Xabi Alonso ruined my next year.
Yeah, it was about time for somebody to take over that title from Bayern. It's nice to see it. But now, guys, we are up to that EPL section, and we'll get into those 8 games that we have going on the Boxing Day. I just want to say that we still have that bet, Kirk and myself and Jack, whether Arsenal or Liverpool are gonna finish higher in the standings. It's actually $100 bet. It was quite a big one. I think,
It's 200 for me.
yeah, I think Jack conceded that one already, even though I offered him an early cash out halfway, and for half the money, but he decided to write it
I
off.
ain't giving him shit.
I wouldn't take it anyway.
Yeah, and he did refuse that as well. But let's get going about those games, guys. City and Everton is the first one, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time on the Boxing Day. City lost another one, guys, and they were, you know what, they were absolutely horrible, Jack. I don't know if you were watching the game against Villa. They were horrible. This team was I don't know, not even a shadow of a City team that they were last season. Not even at the beginning of this season. They their passes were so I don't know, so shaky. They did not look well. They can't defend if their lives depended on it right now. And on top of that, they're not even creating enough chances. If you have Holland up front, you would expect the team to kind of adapt their gameplay more closely to him, to fit him more. But he had one shot in that game, if I'm not mistaken. They're just horrible right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. But I'm not sitting here saying they're tanking or anything like that, because if someone was to intentionally tank, there's way too many people involved, for it to not be leaked. I just think something is not right now. I don't know if there's been like a falling out in the changing rooms, or what's going on, but I'd love to be a fly in the wall in the City changing room right now, because what are they saying to each other? What is the team talk after you're down? Let's not forget they lost 6 games in a row. Like, what the hell are you going to be talking about when you've looked like the best team in the world for probably 2 years? Yeah, weird. They're officially on my do not bet list now. I actually put this in the comments of our City video. They're on my do not bet list for probably the rest of the season. So yeah, you just don't know what City you're going to get at this point. They could look like the old City, or they could end up looking like I know, Everton or someone like that. So yeah, I don't love my pick in this game, but it's City to win 2-0. Again, they're on my do not bet list, so I will not be doing this. I actually really like Kirk's pick, which I'll let him talk about, but I just think the extra value's there. I don't think this is going to be 0-0. So City to win 2-0 is the play for me in this game.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
quite strange to see. Sorry, Kirk, how the injury of one player, which is Rodri, has had such a negative impact on Manchester City, and hey, they will need to learn to play without him. They will need to adapt a little bit. Um, they will bounce back for sure. They are a big team. They won the Champions League. They won the EPL multiple times, so they will bounce back. The only question is, this is going to be on time for them to avoid the headaches of um, needing to make a run to qualify for the Champions League or whatever. But for my pick in this one, I'm going to take City first half money line -120. I think this should be a game where they get a nice and comfortable win, Kirk.
Yeah, I think they're going to focus on not conceding here, something they've done way too much recently. And I don't know. I mean, we can talk about City, what they have been, what they are now, forever. And I'm just going with both teams to score equals no here at -110. If the only way Jack's pick doesn't hit, I mean, I think Jack's pick is probably a great pick. Like, I'm probably going to take that myself. City are not on my do not bet list. They historically they made me too much money for me to put them on there. I get the reasoning for putting them on the do not bet list, obviously, but something's going to change. Whether it's a Christmas miracle and City win 1-0, who knows? Because that would be a Christmas miracle at this stage. So I don't know. I'm with both teams to score equals no here, but I actually like all three of our picks a lot.
Off to the next game, Bournemouth and Crystal Palace. And Kirk, you are giving the advantage to Crystal Palace here once again. Even though they lost two in a row right now, they lost both of those to Arsenal, and they were a lot worse in this game in the EPL this past weekend, rather than the one they played on the road against Arsenal. They lost 5-1 at home. Even though both of you guys were saying that they're a solid team at home, and they might be solid team at home overall this season, but their current form is not giving me a lot of confidence, I have to admit, Kirk.
That's fair. You forgot to mention that I went 4-1 on the Prem on Sunday.
Yes, you did, and I
When
went the other way.
exactly, but no one in the comments applauding me. Everyone's just being, "Oh, Ipswich, what was that? Oh, Palace, what was that?" Yeah. So for whoever believed in me, my heart goes out to you, because Wolves money line was free. Anyways, Palace. I'm on a really weird play here, to be honest. I don't know if this takes up half the screen because it's like the longest play I've ever made. Actually, there's one longer in the West Ham game, but I'm on Palace on the double chance and under 2.5 at plus 220. I might see like a 1-1 game here. I think Bournemouth and Palace, they just play very similar styles of football. Palace, they're going to really slow down the game here, and it's just a 1-1 game here, maybe a 0-0, maybe 1-0 Palace. The value here for me is great.
I mean, personally, I'm not sure I trust enough to either defense to get this game to go to stay the under 2.5, if I'm being honest. I mean, Crystal Palace conceded 8 goals in their last 2 games, and yes, they were against Arsenal. But Bournemouth is coming off of a pretty big win on the road against Manchester United. 3-0. They kept a clean sheet. Honestly, I don't think they can do it twice in a row. So instead of the sides, Jack, I'm taking both teams to score an over 2.5 plus 105. I mean, we'll see. It's Boxing Day. We've seen stranger things happening on the Boxing Day in the EPL. I'm 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 hoping for goals in this one.
Yeah, I think a factor that I probably should have mentioned, as we kicked off this EPL slate, is Boxing Day games. They actually end up being significantly worse over time, like over time has shown for the away teams. And I don't know why. I guess it's like a morale thing or something because, again, it's not like the US, for example, where you can fly to any city basically and get off the plane, play your game, go home on the plane the same day. It's not really like that in the UK. You have to usually get a coach or a train, which takes you 4 or 5 hours to go across the country. And a lot of the teams go the day before the game, so. Not sure if that's going to be the case in this one. I mean, Palace to Bournemouth probably about a 2 hour journey, so probably not. So yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to be a factor in this one, but I just think Bournemouth at home's the play here. I love Bournemouth at home. Don't like Palace on the road. And again, it's the whole trend over the last like 20 plus years of Boxing Day games where it's just not been good for the away side. So yeah, I'm going to ride with that.
Now, Chelsea and Fulham. Jack, can we apply the same logic you just said to this game as well? Chelsea coming off of a 0-0 draw against Everton. And after a long time, I took a player prop as a premium, and I took Cole Palmer to get over 1.5 shots on target. It was plus 165 or something like that. And he didn't get a single shot on target in this game. Chelsea couldn't
The
score a
books,
goal.
the books made a trap just for you.
I bet they did, and I fell right into it because he was being rested for that game midweek they were playing in the Conference League. So I was hoping that he's gonna show up and do what he's done, what he's been doing for the entire season so far. But once again, can you see Chelsea scoring less than 2 goals in this game, Jack?
I don't know. I've actually got a premium in this game ready to be put on the site, so you have to obviously stay tuned for that one, guys. I'll obviously upload it closer to Boxing Day. We're recording this on 23rd, so yeah, that'll be up. But the whole away thing, the question that you asked to kick this off, Goran, not a factor in this one because basically Fulham, it's like a 15-minute journey max, or maybe not even 15 minutes from Fulham Stadium to Chelsea Stadium. This is a local derby. It can't get any closer than this. Maybe QPR, if you remember QPR, maybe they're slightly closer to Chelsea, but Fulham to Chelsea is like literally the same area, very close to where Kirk's going actually, where he's staying in Notting Hill, not far away. So, yeah, not really a factor here in terms of morale, I guess. But Chelsea second in the league right now, they're looking really good. I just think this one, local derby, the fans are going to be up for it. Players are going to be up for it. You don't want to lose this game on either side of the coin. So I'm taking the over 4.5 cards here. Stamford Bridge rival games are always feisty. So the cards is to play here at plus 110. I think it's a really nice price.
Yeah, I mean, Fulham on the road is not the same as Fulham at home. They are conceding goals consistently. However, they are scoring goals quite well also. And like you said, this is the local derby. The teams are very close to each other. It's gonna be a fun game, I think. And I just can't see Chelsea not scoring for twice in a row, especially at home against a team like Fulham. So I'm going to go for the most value I could possibly get. Chelsea to win and both teams to score, plus 167. Kirk, for this to hit and for you to hit your pick, we should expect a hell of a second half.
Yeah, I kind of am with Jack on this one. I think it's a derby. I don't think it's a derby. It is a derby. But since that is the case, I think the first half it's going to be chippy. It's going to be chess match. Tone's going to be set early. I'm going with under 1.5 goals in the first half at minus 136.
Now, for the next game, we have Newcastle and Aston Villa. Newcastle has been playing really well lately. They are on a three-game winning streak right now. They've scored a bunch of goals recently as well. 4-0 against Ipswich, 3-1 against Brentford, 4-0 against Leicester. They've scored two against Brentford the week before in the Premier League as well. Three against Liverpool at home. I mean, they are very hard to beat at home, Kirk, right now. But then again, on the other side, you have Aston Villa, who is coming off of a massive win against Manchester City. They've lost only one of their last five games. And even you who think that they're a fraud team, you have to admit that they're playing really well right now.
Yeah, I really don't know what to think about this game. I really don't. Went back and forth forever. I like your pick, Goran. I really do. And I hate to admit it because they're a fraud team, but I do like your pick. But I'm going to go with both teams to score and over 2.5 at minus 125. I think if there is a game we see on Boxing Day that ends like 4-3, this is probably the game. So that's going to be my pick here.
I mean, you have to take goals into consideration, of course, obviously, with Newcastle scoring so many lately. And I think Isak got a hat trick in
Yeah.
this game over the weekend. But then again, Aston Villa had a tactical.
Patrick Schick said, let me get 4.
I saw that. And he scored a hat trick last year, I believe, as well, on just before Christmas break, I think, or something like that. But in this one, I'm taking Aston Villa on the double chance. Minus 116. I think that's a great price. I don't know why they're such heavy underdogs at home on the road, Jack, but I think it should be closer than it is right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're such big underdogs. Villa to Newcastle. Villa's going to be travelling on Christmas Day. And that's where this factor plays in, what I spoke about, of away sides not doing well on Boxing Day. They're not going to be with their family Christmas Day, I guarantee you it. So for me, it was either Newcastle and both teams to score in this one, or draw and both teams to score. Both fairly similar prices. You get lower odds for Newcastle. I think this one could be 1-1, maybe 2-2 if we're lucky. Drawing both teams to score at plus 350. It's a lean. It's not like a lock or anything like that, obviously. I think if you want any lock in this game, it's the both teams to score, to be honest. I think it's like minus 175. But yeah, for the sake of actually giving out a decent price free pick, it's drawing both teams to score.
Now, Jack, Nottingham Forest and Tottenham, give us the scoop on this one.
I mean, Spurs involved in another clown fest. Jesus, was that painful to watch yesterday? Oh my God. It was Tottenham are a team right now, and I really am not that much of a pessimistic person. I will be honest, but when Tottenham play Liverpool, you just accept defeat before the game's even kicked off. Our biggest bogey team, we always struggle against them, home or away. And when you're missing your two starting centre backs, your starting left back, and your starting goalie, you're up against probably the best scoring team in the world right now. It's not going to end well, and it didn't. 6-3, if you weren't aware, just before Kirk probably rubs it in my face. But I'm going with goals again in this one. Forest been scoring a lot at home this season. Look decent at home, to be fair. Can I trust Tottenham again with 3, or should I say 4 out of their 5 defensive players to be out in this game? Can I trust them to win? Probably not. But I see goals. So I think goals has been the pretty consistent good play with Tottenham this season. So over 3.5 at plus 120. I can actually vouch for maybe pushing it to over 4.5, but over 3.5 is the play from me.
Start rubbing in, Kirk.
I'm on the under 1.5 at minus 146 in the first half. I don't need to rub it in. I mean, it's just like when you watch that goalie, holy shit, man! It's just like, what the hell? It's like that's your best option. Like you wanna, like you could pick a random kid off the street in London. You could bring
Can
him to
can
the
can maybe
pitch.
we do a swap with your third goalie at Bayern? Can we swap?
He's good
Yeah, so can we swap?
if you can find him. You guys clearly don't have an eye for talent.
I
Anyways,
mean, our starting keeper is going to be one of the best keepers in the league. I'm
yeah,
confident
I
of that.
agree. I agree with that. Vicario is very solid. I agree with that. But I mean, for situations like this, it's just
Or
like, oof. Anyways, I'm on the under 1.5 here in the first half at -146. I actually really loved this play until I saw both of your guys' plays. So now I'm a little more wary. So yeah, I lost my train of thought with Jack's girlfriend going crazy.
sorry,
What I was gonna say about the
no, it's
goalkeeper, I mean, if your first goalkeeper and the second goalkeeper are hurt, why would you give a chance to a 36 or 37-year-old instead of a maybe an 18-year-old keeper from like under 18 team or something like that? Like, wouldn't that be the way
I
to
mean,
go?
this is why a couple seasons ago, I really respected Gazaniga. I don't know where he is now. He's been here and there and everywhere. I think he might be playing Italian league. I'm not sure, but I respect him a lot because he didn't get that many minutes. But when he did get minutes, he was a solid. He was probably one of the best like backup keepers in the league. Like I really liked him. It was a really, I mean, it was one of those. I can't blame him for leaving because he's good enough to start in a lot of European elite teams. We've just never really replaced him. And really taking a gamble on Vicario not getting injured. But when he breaks his ankle and now you have to put Forster in, yeah, it's GG, man. Season's over.
My pick for this one will be over 3 goals, -137, and I'm just giving myself a safety net of a push, I suppose. But with Newcastle, with sorry, not Newcastle, with Tottenham not being able to defend anyway. Right now, I mean, how do you not take goals in this one? I could see a world where the halftime ends with 0 or 1 goals for Kirk's pick to hit as well, and then they just go off in the second half. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see 3 goals in the first half alone in this match. So I don't know. We'll see. Now, Southampton and West Ham. Kirk, Southampton being the team at the bottom of the table, if I'm not mistaken, right now, or are they above Ipswich? No, they are at the bottom of the table with a goal difference of -25, 17 games in by far, and I mean by far the worst goal difference, the worst team in the league. They are now 8 points away from safety, and with the way they have been playing, there's just no hope for them this season, Kirk.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they have been playing pretty well lately. Well, is relative to how they have played the rest of the season before,
They played
but they
well
have
for
been
them,
playing.
for their standards,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose.
Relative to themselves, they've played well, which is kind of why this is kind of a trap game, in my opinion, because West Ham should be favored by a lot more if we're really thinking about the quality of these two teams. Um, I'm going with West Ham to be winning at halftime or full time at -130. I could see a 0-0 draw at half and West Ham pulls it out late. I could see 1-0 West Ham at half and then Southampton gets a late one. So -130, I really like the price there. Ask me where you find this bet. I got it on FanDuel. I don't know if every book gives this bet, so FanDuel for me.
Now, I mean, West Ham on the road, let's be honest, hasn't been the greatest team. They're averaging just over one scored goal per game. But then again, Southampton at home is conceding a lot more than they are conceding on the road, actually. I don't know why that is the case. Maybe because they are hoping to do something in the attack against when they're playing home games, so they leave themselves a little bit more open, and they're just not good defensively. But I mean, I'm taking both teams to score in over 2.5, -108. It is Boxing Day. Maybe they try and do something once again. And like Jack, you said, the away teams haven't been doing that well on Boxing Day over the last 15 or 20 years in the EPL.
Yeah, apologies by the way. This is what happens when you're away from family for so long. The kids are excited to see you. I'm just that guy.
You don't have kids.
But
What
yeah,
are you
in this,
talking about?
it was no, I don't have a kid. It's a young family member, not my child.
Okay,
I'm not a father just yet. Uh, but yeah, in this game, the reason why Southampton concede more at home is because if you're a team like Southampton that's trying to stay up in the Premier League, you have to play for a point on the road, right? So you're going to play more defensively, but then you're also going to sacrifice goals. So yeah, if you can get some crucial points on the road in the league, great. But at home, that's when you need to win games. And like you said, they're open, they concede goals because they're trying to score. And trust me, as a Tottenham fan, I've seen my fair share of that this year. So look, I'm going with Bowen to score or assist again in another West Ham game. There's no way he goes 2 games in a row without scoring or conceding, especially when they're against Southampton. Um, Maybe chuck it in with a West Ham money line if you really want to push the boundary. But yeah, I think Bowen to score or assist at even money is a really good value play here.
Now, Wolves and Manchester United. Wolves, as Kirk would say, coming off of a lock win against Leicester. I wasn't so sure. It turned out to be that way. They not only they win, they won. They kept a clean sheet against Leicester on the road, 3-0. Manchester United on the other side, coming off of a horrible loss at home, and the situation doesn't look that much better than it was under Ten Hag. I mean, I hope they all knew that it's gonna be a process and it's the success is not gonna be instant. But there are so many lazy players in that Manchester United team. I think they need to get rid of at least half of their team. And Amorim has to bring in players he wants and the players he can actually expect to put in an effort. But I guess when Bruno Fernandes is your captain, Jack, I don't know how much you can expect out of this team.
Yeah, rough game for United yesterday. Jeez Louise.
That was
Uh,
easy.
it was horrible for them. They didn't even look good at all. And now it's up to Amarim. Like, excuse my language, but this team needs discipline. I think this United team has been ridiculed with deviant players over the past few years. Paul Pogba was probably one of the first ones who really kicked it off and just turned the dressing room into an absolute nightmare. And Rashford's going now. Now, I'm not saying Rashford's a big problem, but his behaviour off the pitch hasn't been great. Is he going to be the type of guy to make him come in on Christmas Day, get ready for this game? Maybe. And maybe it's what this team needs because, they need to step things up. And I think that's going to be a big factor. And it's a make or break spot, I think, for Amarim. Maybe he gets the right reaction and maybe he gets the horrible one. I'm going Wolves on the double chance here. The way United looked yesterday, the way Wolves looked this game week as well, just chalk and cheese. So, yeah, draw or Wolves on the double chance at close to even money. I think that's just my favourite side of the coin here.
Now, Kirk, you and I have a same pick in this one, and I'm a bit shocked to see it, but we are taking Manchester United to the money line. I mean, the price is definitely great. They, I mean, can they go on a three-game losing streak? And against Wolves of all teams, I mean, Wolves are coming off of a massive win on their own. There's no doubt about it, but I think this is gonna be a disappointing spot for them.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves have conceded the most goals in the Premier League. And I think this is the game we just see like a 5-1 Man U, if I'm going to be honest. I think the floodgates are actually just going to open in this one. They're going to score early. They're going to score often. It's the spot. It's the spot. I like talking about spots. Wolves 3-0 win, United 3-0 loss. Wolves are playing, or United are playing the team who's allowed the most goals. To win, you have to score goals. They're gonna go all out here. I think they win like 5-1 in all honesty. Man U money line for me.
The last game of this video, guys, and the last game of the Boxing Day in the EPL, Liverpool and Leicester. Now, Liverpool are minus 1,000 favorites. They should probably be bigger favorites than they are. Leicester plus 2,200 underdogs. The books are not giving them not even the slightest chance. And I do understand why, because Liverpool has been the top team in the EPL. They have been the best team, probably one of the most consistent teams and the best teams overall in Europe this season. 37 scored goals in 16 games, only one loss, 16 conceded goals, which I suppose it is enough to win the EPL. They might need to step it up a little bit more as we approach, like maybe closer to the end of the season over the last maybe 5, 6 games before the end. They will need to step it up a little bit more. But right now, they look quite unbeatable, Kirk, and they have a big output from Mo Salah. 15 goals already in 16 games. Luis Diaz has been doing well. There's always Gakpo and Jota. Salah also added 11 assists already. I mean, they are the best team in the EPL this season, if not in Europe overall.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably the best team in Europe by far. I'd say Atletico probably the second best team in Europe right now. It was Barcelona, but then Barcelona decided to bring Eric Garcia and not send him to Saudi, so that's their fault.
No,
I
not
mean,
to sell it, give him away for free.
yeah, it's a charity basically. Anyways, I'm on Liverpool here at 30 minutes at minus 145. I was looking at Liverpool at 20 minutes at plus 120, so you can really go anyway. It's just tough to find value in a game where your favorite so heavily. So Liverpool at 30 minutes at minus 145. I'd be shocked, honestly, if this doesn't hit.
Yeah, I'm taking Liverpool -1 in the first half. It's -137. It's a pretty good price as well. Um, Jack, I mean, Leicester, they do have some great players, and Jamie Vardy did not get a yellow card,
Jamie Vardy, let's have a party.
so he will be playing in this game. Uh, but I mean, Liverpool will be dominating this game, the possession and everything. They will probably have 7 or 8 shots on target on their own. Do you think Leicester can do enough to maybe get on the scoreboard at least in this one?
Yeah, JB Vardy should have been booked, but I guess the referee decided to close his eyes and pretend he didn't see what he saw. Um, so yeah, one to keep an eye on. Again, we all know that Vardy loves a party, as the old saying used to be. Definitely one to keep an eye on for New Year's. I think Leicester are due to play on New Year's Day, maybe the day after. Could be looking to do it then. So we'll address that when we get to it. In this game, I love Liverpool at 15 minutes. I love Liverpool at 30 minutes. I love Liverpool at half time, 60 full time. I actually wonder what the odds are on that in like a same game parlay, but I'm going for a player prop here. Luis Diaz, he's been shooting a lot. Outside the box, he likes to cut in from the left, try and score from outside the box. And if Cody Gakpo plays well, they put Luis Diaz up front, and the amount of chances he gets with Salah playing the way he is right now, he's going to get shots. And the fact that he's over 2.5 shots at even money in this game is the freemium of the video for me. This one is going in so many of my parlays on Boxing Day. Yeah, it's a banker. It's an absolute banker.
And there you
That's
have
it,
it,
guys.
guys.
Yeah, there you have it, Kirk. Do you want to do the outro?
No, I just wanted to hear you say, there you have it, guys.
Well, I will have to change stuff, I guess, because these two guys keep mocking me off air,
We're
so I'll
not
have to
mocking it.
change
I
some
love
stuff.
it.
Yeah, you do. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. I know that this video is a bit longer than we usually have them, but we wanted to do something different for the Boxing Day since we only have the EPL on the slate. There was a quick recap for all of the leagues and stuff like that, and of course a lot of free picks for those 8 games in the EPL. But hey, give us your thoughts, guys, in the comment section. Hit that like button, subscribe, check out our premium picks, guys. We'll have a lot of it for NBA, NFL, soccer, college basketball, football, whatever else is going on over Christmas holidays. We'll have it. So get on board. And let's win some money together, guys. Once again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and stay tuned for more free picks coming up soon.